Welcome to the Trading Psychology course. This course is designed to help you guys understand the basics of trading psychology and how that can affect your trading. These are some of the topics that I'm going to go through in this course with you guys. There are common emotions that you are going to have during your trading journey. You will experience these emotions and these feelings throughout every part of your trading career, and you will also most likely cycle through them again. No matter what level trader you are, you do experience these feelings at all times. So it's something that we want to make sure you guys are aware of, and unfortunately doesn't always get the respect that it deserves when it comes to these types of courses, because everybody's focused on the actual trading, but they kind of neglect the psychological aspects and how hard they can be to battle when you're trading. So I wanted to go over a few of the big ideas here that you should expect to see if you're a new trader. And if you start to feel these ways, it's okay. It is completely expected. And we want to give you guys some key ideas as far as how to combat these feelings, how to minimize them throughout your trading journey so you can still be successful. Getting in the right mindset as a trader is extremely important. It's not just about indicators or like technical analysis, price action. Those are only part of the idea. Like, you have to be able to be in the right mindset to be able to use those things properly. They are important. They're absolutely important. But you have to have the right mindset to be able to execute all of them properly. So a big problem that we do see is just getting your mindset correct. There's a lot of times you'll hear traders say that, I don't know, like my mind just like wasn't in it today. It wasn't right. And that's a big, clear indication that you just need to sit that trading day out if you're feeling like something's off. If for some reason something's just not clicking, you're struggling to stick to your trading plan, or for whatever reason you're having any of these emotions that I'm about to go through with you guys, you need to just stop trading. Shut down the computers, close your phones, walk away for the day, take the day off. You do not have to trade every day. Not every day are you going to be in the best mindset. If you are not your best self psychologically and you're strong enough to come into the markets, you really need to avoid trading that day. A big misconception that a lot of people have, especially when it comes to experienced traders, is that like we're emotionless little robots. People think all the time like, oh my God, how do you do it? How do you shut off your emotions? I am not emotionless. I have a lot of emotions, and I go through all of these feelings as well. The key is to keeping them minimized and learning how that affects your trading, which is something, unfortunately, you will have to go through in your journey of trading. Learning when you feel greed, what do you do? When you feel FOMO, what is your normal reaction? You will learn this for yourselves over time, and it is important to acknowledge these feelings. That's why we want to teach that to you early on, so you can start acknowledging when you are in these mindsets, when you're having these emotions or feelings about trading. So you can see, how did you react to that? For experienced traders, the way that we handle things like these emotions, you don't necessarily shut them off. We will still feel them. What we have learned to do is to outweigh them with the logic. You will do enough of your own backtesting, research, confidence in your trading plan. You will develop enough confidence in your trading and your trading plan, your trading strategy, whatever it is that you're working on for you personally. You will begin to develop enough of that confidence to trust it, to understand that this is what I need to do. You begin to look at the market from a facts point of view, not a wish it would do this or I think it's going to do that. You look at it for what it is in that moment in time. Did it do what you said it needs to do to enter a trade, or did it not? And you look very factual at things. When you stay factual, that is where you become less emotionally involved and more logical about your trading experience. That helps to negate a lot of these feelings when the logic can help outweigh the emotions. Many of you are going to experience like a highlighting of all of these weaknesses, and it can be very detrimental to your mental health. But please try not to look at it from a negative perspective. It's going to happen. It's inevitable that you will experience something like one of these feelings. Try to use it as a learning experience. Grow from that. Write down, journal out. How did it make you feel? What did you do? How did you react? And then learn from that experience. It's never like a losing situation if you guys are taking it as a learning experience. Okay, so let's talk about emotions. I know a lot of you think like, I'm totally fine. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to watch this course. I'm going to close out the video. I would not do that, especially if you're somebody who's still trading on demo. Demo accounts are very different than trading in a live market. The attachment that you're having isn't quite there. It is very easy to feel things like overconfidence when you're trading on a demo. You can also then switch over to your lives, and that's where you're going to have like the fear, or you might start to get like FOMO situations happening. You're definitely going to get frustration. You're definitely going to have doubt and stress. And these are things that will happen to even the strongest mindset of traders. I myself still experience all of these feelings at some point in time. It's about learning how to handle those in a logical manner and suppressing the feeling, or knowing when it's time that that feeling is actually a little bit too strong and you need to just not trade today. You need to just walk away. So having the discipline to get up and walk away and say, not today, it's not a good day. Those are important things to recognize in your trading. So I'm going to walk you guys through a couple of scenarios that may help be a little more relatable so you get an idea of what we're talking about when we refer to these types of emotion. So overconfidence. The scenario will go something like this. You've had a good run of trades. You're feeling really good. You're like, what is everyone talking about? Trading is super easy. I've totally got this. And then you're thinking like, maybe like I could risk a little bit more. Like, I mean, Christy says only risk 1 to 2, but maybe I'm going to risk like 5% because I'm totally crushing it. I'm fine. It's like I can't lose. Like the market just like loves me. That's what you're thinking. You're like, I'm going to totally risk 5% now per trade. And I'm going to take 2 trades. I'm going to start stacking my trades, or I'm going to start doubling up on my trades. So then you end up really risking like 10% because you're like, if I just take 2, I could make 10% on my account. And how could I lose? Like, I'm so good at this. That is overconfidence. And then things can go very wrong very quickly. So let's go over why this is a bad idea. Overconfidence is definitely a overestimation of your trading skills. I'm just going to be totally honest. A lot of you early on think that you know how to do it. You're one of the lucky ones. The reality of it is you have no idea how to actually trade, how to actually mark up a chart, how to do proper risk management. You kind of just run through the basic steps and you're not really paying attention to the core of what you need to know, and you just start click and buy and sell and you think, I got this. That is an overestimation of your trading skills. And it is important to have confidence. We don't want you to not have confidence. It's very important to build your confidence, but your confidence is going to be built over time. And slowly, it's a trusting process for yourself, for your strategy, for your plan that you put in place. It's not something that's going to happen quickly. So if you're feeling too confident very early on, most likely you're experiencing this overconfidence feeling. It can negatively affect your performance, and it can definitely do damage to your account. In the example I just said, where you're now risking potentially 10% per trade instead of the normal 1 to 2. And most likely, if you were on a winning streak and you were feeling really great about yourself, there's most likely a loss coming for you. Losses are going to happen, and when they happen, it will knock you out of overconfidence so quickly, and then you're going to start regressing into the fear emotion. And it's this cycle that you go through as a trader. So to avoid overconfidence and then starting to spiral into the other negative feelings, way to avoid this is to reinforce that you're trading only your plan. Don't change your risk management. Practice a little bit of humility. That's something that I find a lot of people don't do. And you want to balance that with your overconfidence. Make sure that you're not celebrating your wins. You want to make sure that you are giving yourself credit for when you're winning and giving your trading plan credit for when it's winning. But don't get so boastful about it. Don't get so prideful about it that you feel you're invincible, because the market will humble you. very quickly. You need to be aware that you're in the market's territory and it will do what the market wants to do. And you can be as confident as you want, but there is a chance you may get burned very badly. And you need to be able to be humble enough to accept that that's a reality. But at the same time, not fearful that you won't trade. The key to doing this is that you have a good risk management plan and that you stick to no matter how good you have been doing with trading. You need to also have like max losses and max trade rules. These things will help limit you from being overconfident and then also over trading because you're feeling overconfident. So FOMO. FOMO is a huge emotion. I find that FOMO is the most prevalent in new traders. New traders are super excited. They want to sit in the market 24/7 staring at charts. They love to watch their trades run and they want to be in everything that everyone else is doing. So if someone in the community says like, hey, I'm entering in a trade, they're like, whoa, I want to be in that trade. It can be very hard for newer traders to like control that excitement. A FOMO scenario would go something like this. That moment where the market's like pushing up a bunch and you don't have a reason to get into the trade. Perhaps you were a little bit late to seeing it, or maybe it just doesn't meet your criteria. Everyone else is like, wow, look at this candle. I'm in this, I'm in that. And you're sitting there like, whoa, I want to be in this. Like, I'm missing out. I need to be in this trade as well. But there's no logical reason for you to enter the trade. It doesn't meet your criteria and you don't have a risk management plan in place for this. You're just winging it and wanting to jump into a random trade because you are afraid to miss out on what everyone else is doing or what that candle is doing, where there's money to be made there. Like, I should have been in that. That is a common situation that happens where you guys will have this FOMO feeling. It's a bad idea to think that way. The market presents so many opportunities all the time. It's constantly moving. There's tons of pairs that you can look at. There's always another trade happening somewhere. And there is always going to be missed trades. You are missing more moves in your career than you are going to be getting them. So you can't get hung up on the one that got away kind of thinking. You can't feel that way. If you missed an entry that maybe it did meet your criteria even, but you were late to getting to look at that, then you would just move forward with it. You do not want to get so hung up on the should've, could've, would'ves. That is going to be negative thinking and that is not going to help you with your trading. You just accept the fact that you're like, oh man, that could have been a great trade. Okay, move on. And that's it. You're waiting for the next trade to happen. You don't want to get stuck in habits where you're getting in trades late or you're getting in trades without meeting criteria. Those are really bad habits to have and form, and they're also extremely hard habits to break. So it's best to not even start those bad habits. If you can avoid them, it's going to help you guys more in the long term. The best way to avoid this is just slowing down. Just slow down. It is not a race trading. A lot of you get all frantic and frenzy and you will like love that adrenaline rush in the beginning that you get as a new trader when you're taking trades. I understand that, but at the same time, that is not at all what trading's meant to be. You should have zero adrenaline happening when you are placing a trade because that is how you can think clearly and with that logical side of your brain versus the emotional side. So you want to slow down, follow your trading rules, double check your plan. Does it work? If it doesn't, do not take that trade. And be patient. Wait for the next opportunity if you've missed one. It is not the end of all opportunities forever. So don't worry about it. Another one will happen and you can just wait until the next one comes along. Revenge trading. Oof. This can lead to frustration and feelings of greed, and this one's a very tough one to battle. I myself in the beginning was definitely guilty of revenge trading. And the scenario goes something like this. You take a trade and it loses. You feel a little frustrated, but you're like, it's okay. People say losses happen. No biggie. But then you take another trade and it loses and you're like, dang, really? 2 in a row? Like something's going on. This don't seem right. Then you start to get kind of like questioning and a little frustrated and you're like, great, now I'm down 2% on my account. And this is where you start to take trades that maybe don't fit your plan. Like you're kind of pushing the limits as to whether they meet the criteria or not. And it's because you want to get a winning trade. You are pushing the market to do something that it's not doing. You are forcing a situation and you're like, well, surely the next one's going to win. Like, I'm not going to lose 3 in a row. This is revenge trading, where you're pushing a situation and you are forcing the idea that a win is going to happen. And you are going to be setting yourself up for some serious failure if you continue with this mindset, thinking like, well, I can't lose 3 in a row. I can't lose 4 in a row. It's impossible I lose 5 in a row. And you keep going down that rabbit hole of losses where you're not thinking clearly. You get more and more revengeful. You're upping risk. You're doing all of the wrong things with each trade because you can't lose now. You're like, well, I can't lose again. This is a bad habit to have, and it happens to everyone. Please try your best to just break this cycle and walk away when you are having these emotions. You need to learn to take a limit to 2 losses a day. 2 losses happen. That stinks. You're down 2% on your account potentially. But guess what? You walk away and you come back fresh tomorrow. Sitting in the market does not help people. Majority of the time, you will actually do way more damage to your account staying there in a revengeful mindset than it will ever be profitable for you. Please make sure you're being cautious with this, because revenge trading is definitely a lose-lose situation. You're going to take losses and then you're going to compound them by going off the rails and taking like trades outside your plan. You're going to be like hoping and like gambling almost rather than planning. Like, based on your plan, sticking to your strategy. You're going to be holding on to this hope. You're going to be so emotionally invested. You're going to be a wreck. It's not worth going off the rails on this like roller coaster of craziness. Like, you want to make sure that you just take the break, go breathe it out a little bit, walk away, close everything down. Just let that emotional cycle break, and then you can come back later on with a clear mindset. Setting something, like I said, a set number of losses, or making sure that you're sticking to your trading rules, or accepting that losses just will happen. That's another thing that a lot of traders fail to do, is just saying that it's okay to lose. No 100% strategy out there. You will lose. So accept that losses happen. It is about minimizing the losses and minimizing the impact that those losses have on your account that will help you stay successful and become profitable. When you revenge trade and you're going outside of your plan, that does not help minimize loss damage to your account. So remember that. That's where logic will outweigh this emotion. You need to stay logical. I have to minimize my losses, protecting my account. So I cannot go in and up risk or revenge trade outside of my plan. That is how you can kind of help push that emotion on the back burner, put the logic forward. Fear of losing out or fear of being wrong, where like the feelings of fear, doubt, stress, they kind of start creeping in with your trading. This is pretty common as well, actually. So basically a scenario of this looks something like you've analyzed the market and identified a trade that fits your plan. So you know it fits your plan. You are actually following your plan. But then you're like sweating it out a little bit. You're starting to have like uneasy feelings about this trade. You're questioning things. And then you're like, but what if it loses? Like, what if it loses? Like, I don't know if I don't want to trade this if it's going to lose. Like, what if you don't know what you're doing? Like, what if your analysis is wrong? Then you guys start looking at like different time frames, and you'll start being like, but maybe like if I do multi-time frame analysis, or maybe is this a divergence? And then you start questioning, well, maybe that's hidden. You get yourselves so twisted that you literally paralyze yourselves from trading, and you're like, forget it, I'm not taking this trade. And then, of course, inevitably, the trade will go in the direction that you initially thought, because it always will anytime you set a trade out. Then you get those feelings of fear that you had with entering it. You have the feelings of doubt that had crept in. And then you get stressed because you could have, should have, would have taken that win, and you didn't, and you froze. This is a common situation that occurs for people, very common when you start transitioning from a demo to a live account. So just try to remember, though, that when you guys are trading in any situation, there's only 2 outcomes that can happen. You either win the trade or you lose the trade. You either get some profits from it, or you end up a little bit negative from it, or maybe you break even. But you're never going to be anything other than that. It's winning or losing. Like, that's it. You cannot predict the market. Like, you can try, we can do what we can, but the market is the market. It's going to do what it wants to do. The best thing you can do is just accept the fact that you are risking what you are risking. You have done your analysis, you have done your trading, you have built your confidence in your plan. You should know it well enough and trust it well enough to be able to take these trades. And just know that you are accepting that risk regardless. You are taking the risk, it's risk managed well. There is nothing to be afraid of to take a well placed trade that met your criteria, met your plan fully, and had good risk management. If it loses, you don't need to be fearful of it. You have done a proper risk managing part of it to protect your account. So don't get yourself so upset that you lost and go down that whole spiral effect of emotions and get stuck in it. The logical part of your brain needs to step forward and say, it's okay. Losses happened. We did the best we could. We knew that this was a potential outcome, that we would either win or lose this trade. We've done our part to protect and secure our capital by keeping a good, tight risk management plan and then also only following our trading plan. You can tell yourself that I follow the plan. That's okay. I know my plan will work long term to make sure that I'm profitable. So it's okay that I took a loss here. Try to remember how to weigh with logic when these feelings start to creep in. Thinking in probabilities is definitely going to help you guys with like mastering that logic weighing out. Both wins and losses are going to happen. Backtesting your trading strategy to gain confidence in it is definitely going to help you guys. Knowing how your strategy works, knowing it from trading it on demo and working with it, building the confidence in that. You want to practice taking your trades in that demo in a live market so you understand how your strategy moves. How many losses could you potentially take in a row? How many wins could you take in a row? These are the kind of things that help you learn to accept that strategy, get comfortable with it, so that way when you do take losses in your live account, your brain is already used to this and it's not like such a shock. So doing things like practicing it before getting into the live market will help with this whole like fear, doubt, and stress that could creep in. This is also another like extension of fear and doubt that kind of creeps in, but it deserves its own mention because closing trades too early and fiddling with your trades, moving them all around, is so detrimental to your accounts, and it is really bad for your risk management plan. So the scenario goes something like this. You've done your analysis and you've placed your trade, but then you start to doubt yourself a little bit and you think like, all right, well, I need to give my stop loss a little more room because the market's like going way down and like my trade's negative. So I need to move my stop loss even further to give it room to breathe. Then you're watching your trade and it never reverses and it's like you're way further down and drawdown than you had expected. And now you're over risking because you moved your stop loss out of fear. And instead of learning how to accept that loss, you have just kept moving your stop loss. That's a bad idea. Or the opposite. You might be watching the trade and it goes positive and you start to think like, oh, like, yay, I'm winning. I got some money. Like, I'm just going to close out my profits now. Like, I should close now because it's $5. I'm going to take $5. And while you may make $5 on that particular trade because you did close out in small amount of profit, long term, if you continue that risk to reward situation where every loss you would lose 100 and every win you would only win $5, you will not be profitable. That is going to be a hard risk to reward situation to fix. So you need to make sure that you're not doing that consistently. Obviously, there are exceptions to this fiddling situation, but you want to make sure you don't get in the habit to do it all the time because if you do, like I just explained, your risk to reward in your plan will be completely messed up. You will not see the results that you plan to see. So basically, what I'm saying is that closing your trades early and fiddling with the trades is really sabotaging it. It's not good long-term in any scenario for you to be getting into those habits. You need to learn to trust your analysis and just let the trades play out. Let them play out according to the rules that you have tested, you have practiced with, and you know work. You need to accept the risk that you took when you place that trade. So before you place a trade, make sure in your head that you are ready to place it and you accept the outcome of that trade regardless. Some ways you can avoid with the closing trades too early and fiddling around is basically learning how to trust your strategy analysis. You need to use good risk management. When you place the trade, you have to accept that risk you put on there. Like, you know what you've risked, and if you couldn't accept it, you shouldn't have placed the trade. You need to accept the outcome, that it's going to be a win or a loss for you, and you need to let it play out. You need to just set it and forget it. A lot of you guys struggle with the staring at your trade and watching it. You watch the entire trade play out, but you cannot help yourselves from touching it or fiddling. If you are this person, you need to set your stop loss, set your take profit. You need to walk away from the computer. If you want to do stuff with break evens and stuff, set the alert at that area and get the alert to come to your phone or your computer while you are away. But do not sit and stare at them. You have to find something else to preoccupy your mind and keep you busy, so that way you're not tempted to fiddle around with the trade or close them out too early. So building confidence is huge. So we talked about not being overconfident, but we want to make sure you do build confidence. But this is definitely a bit of a process. And ways that you can go about helping your confidence be built as a trader is to have fully developed trading plans. That includes strategies with rules, well-defined rules. You want to have a risk management plan. You want to know the markets that you're trading. You want to know the time frames that you're trading. You want to know where does it do best and when does it not do best. Things like that. The best way to figure this out is by backtesting your strategy and backtesting it according to the plan that you have made up in your head and proving that it works. Seeing it all played out in data helps you to build that confidence. Like, oh, when we took this number of trades from this time frame during this session that all met our rules, this is what could have been made. That helps to reinforce confidence in your strategy and show the potential of it. Once you have it all figured out, you need to practice on demo. Maybe you backtested for a couple of months. Now it's time to move on to demo and mimic it in a live market to make sure that the simulation of it is actually working out in a live market and that you're going to get close to the same similar type of results that you got in your backtesting. That is important to make sure that you're practicing a demo before you go into a live market and on a live account, because that is where you could have issues. There could be problems in between the two. You want to make sure that you're working out any of those like bugs before you get into a live trading account. Placing the trade and fully accepting that risk and outcome we've already talked about, and that will help you when you just accept, I'm placing this trade. It's going to win. It's going to lose. I'm within good risk management. I'm okay with any outcome. Focusing on the process and not the outcome is also very helpful. Going into a trade and already thinking like, am I going to win? Like, I hope I win. Like, it should win. Like, that's a bad thought process. You want to be in the process of the trade. Go from step to step to step. Does this follow the rules to enter into this trade? Yes, check. Then you go to the next step of the process. Does my risk management make sense on this? Am I within my risk management plan? Yes, check. Okay, then you say, okay, I'm placing this trade because I'm accepting the risk. Like, yes, check. So don't get so caught up in the win or loss before you even go through your whole process and checklist of whether that trade makes sense to take. You should always be placing stop losses with your trades. You want to make sure that you have a stop loss in place to guard your capital at all times. You also want to make sure that you have an idea of take profits that you want or break even areas, making sure that you're setting alerts for these areas so that way you can walk away if you're somebody who fiddles and not have to stare at the charts all day. Like, you can let them play out, but also be aware of what's going on when they hit key areas. So using alerts definitely helps. Every trade is going to present an opportunity to learn what you did well and where you could have improved. So this will go back to that idea of like, learn from your losses. Journaling will help. That is something I'll get into in a minute, but using your losses will help you to eventually learn what it is that you did wrong. Find those patterns potentially in your strategy or your plan that you're using. Like, where is this consistently going wrong? So don't just ignore your losses. They are just as helpful to you as a win sometimes in fine-tuning your strategy or figuring out where you can make things better. So losses have their purpose, and it's helpful to look at them from as positive of a perspective as you can to help find like, okay, I might have lost, but I realize that there are always divergences before I take these losing trades. So maybe I should stop taking trades that have a divergence before them. So you can use them to your benefit. So don't get too negative about losses. Try to find ways to use them to help you. And you want to look for your successes and you want to build on those. You don't want to get too overconfident with them, but you want to highlight your successes and you want to see your process that you are going through. You want to see that you are progressing in it. You want to be able to see like, how well have I been doing, and start acknowledging your successes in trading. So that will also help like build this confidence and this like, oh, I knew what I was doing. Or, oh, I could spot this before it happened. Those little things are helpful to building your confidence as a trader. So make sure that you acknowledge them for yourself. And lastly, make sure that you are always planning your trades and you trade your plan. Take the trades and accept the outcome. Like that is something I cannot reinforce enough. Like you have to plan and you have to stick to your plan, and then you have to accept the outcome with a good risk management. So I just touched on journaling a little bit, but journaling is definitely important and something that is used not only to write out your emotions and see where improvements need to be done, but also to journal your success. So you can see your progress and see how you are progressing in your trading journey. A lot of trading psychology focuses on all of these negative emotions that I was just talking about, but not a lot of it really looks at the whole picture. You also progress and you can see the success that you are starting to achieve. You can see that you're starting to learn how to control these bad emotions and start letting that logical part of your brain outweigh those emotions. So journaling will help you see this progress happening. So you can do things like adding in like your thoughts and your emotions like before, during, or after a trade, and then write out the outcomes in the trade management. Write out your thought process that you're having. It does seem a little bit extra, and I know a lot of people do not do this, but I recommend you do, especially if you're struggling with any of these psychological areas I just talked about. Journaling it will help you understand what's going on better, and it will give you something to go back to and reference and see if you're progressing, if you've made progress in dealing with that emotion or not while you're trading. It's important to look at them, like whether you do it every day or at the end of the day or even maybe weekly. I know journaling can be a lot for some people. You could even save up all your trades on TradingView marked up and just like write above them like sad, happy, whatever you were feeling. Just quickly note it on the TradingView, and then at the end of the week when maybe you could sit down and have some time, then copy them all over into a journal and write it all down. That's, up to you guys to figure out how to time manage to fit in journaling, but it is definitely something you should be focusing on, and especially for those of you who are struggling with any of these psychological like feelings I just mentioned. You need to train your mind to not just see like what needs improvement or all these negatives, but also like what did you do right? Where did you see progression? Where did you see wins? Like what were you feeling during those wins versus like what was going on when you took losses? This will help you guys start to build that confidence again to help work through this whole cycle of feelings that you can get when it comes to the psychology of trading. This gives you that link that you needed between your analysis and like how you took the trade, how you managed it, the emotions you experienced. You need that link between the two, and the best way to do it is journaling it. But please know though that like, addressing emotions, this part takes time. Anything psychologically takes time. You guys have to work through the process, and you have to learn how to get yourself in a state of mind where that logic will help to suppress those emotions you're having. but that will take some time to build that confidence to feel that you are strong enough to do that mentally. So don't be hard on yourselves. Give yourself the time you need to develop as a trader, and know that it's common to experience all of these feelings. It will happen for you. Be patient. Just stay consistent and be persistent. Just know that you want to fight through it. Don't go in this like negative little like hole where you kind of like sit there in the dark and you're like, I can't do it, like whatever. You have to stay persistent with it. If you need some time off and you need some time away, that is okay. And all of us at some point have probably walked away from trading for a little bit and then come back to it. Do what is best for you, but make sure that you do stay patient, consistent, and persistent about it if you really want to do this. You need to have the drive and the desire to do it, to push yourself, to do the things that have to get done, to fight through some of these psychological barriers that you will hit. So to wrap all of this up for you guys and give you the long and short of this course, trading's a journey. It's not a sprint. If you thought you were going to be driving a Lambo in a week, I am sorry to tell you, you will not be. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a true skill that you have to acquire. Like any other skill, it is not just random luck. It is not gambling. You need to have acquired the proper skills, and it does take time. Like any other skill would take time. With a lot of consistency and practicing, you will get better at it. Everyone has their own pace at this. You need to go at your own pace. Please try not to get yourself stuck comparing. That will also accelerate some of these emotions and the negative ones when you start comparing or trying to compete with others. Your own journey is your own journey. Do not rush it. You are exactly where you need to be for yourself. So make sure that you just go at your own pace, stay confident in what you are doing for your own goals, and make sure that you're setting realistic goals for yourself. So you want to set things that are actually short-term attainable goals for you. I understand wanting a long-term goal, and that's great. It's very hard to see that clearly when it's so far away. You should be setting short-term goals that are actually attainable for you. So whether that's, say, making $50 a day. I would like to make $50 a day, and that's it. Eventually, you would like to quit your job and live solely off trading, and that's a great long-term plan. But right now, what can you attain in the short term? And you would be something like, I'd like to just make $50 a day when I come into the markets. Setting something like that will help you guys, one, build your confidence, and then set a new goal once you reach that. Keep pushing your goal further and further until you reach that long-term goal. It will help to reinforce confidence, and it will also help to set you at the pace that you personally need to be at versus staring at somebody like myself. I've been trading for 7 years. I have way more experience with trading than somebody who has been trading for a month. So it's very unrealistic for you to look at my trading results and think that yours should be comparable. So make sure that you're not doing that to yourselves, because you'll set yourselves up to be disappointed. Make sure you guys are taking the proper steps to keep your mindset clear. You want to have this proper trader's mindset. So stay strong in your discipline. Follow the rules. Be consistent. You want to find ways to lessen these negative emotions. And like I said, try to find the reasons that logic should outweigh that negative emotion when you're looking at a trade. Do not trade when you're stressed out or when your emotions are heightened, even if they're good emotions, even if you're happy and you're feeling euphoric. Do not come in and trade, because you will over risk and that will quickly go south for you. You want to be trading when you are in a clear mind, you are in a calm state, you're very rational. Any other emotion outside of that, I know that it's tempting to get into the markets, but you need to learn to not trade during those times. That's where that discipline will come in, that you need to just say, not today. It's okay. I'll trade tomorrow if I'm feeling better. You don't want to trade if you're in any way feeling stressed. Please do not trade if you need the money. So many people say, I need the money though, I have to trade. That is a bad scenario. Please don't do that either. Do not trade. If you need that money, you do not belong in the markets. You need to go do whatever you need to do with that money, but you do not need to risk it in the markets. So please make sure that if you're in that state of mind where you're like, well, I need this, do not trade. It's a horrible idea to do that. You will set yourself up for failure. You will be way too emotionally invested in trading, and you will not think clearly. So please don't do that. You need to be patient with yourselves too. Make sure you're waiting for the right setups, make sure you're following the rules. Be patient about it. It is not a quick thing. The process is going to take a while. The trades may take a while sometimes for the right setups. You got to just be a patient person and learn that the market will come to you when it's ready. You're not going to the market. And learn to appreciate your successes. If you guys are doing good, be proud of that. Definitely make sure that you are celebrating when you're doing well and that you're taking the credit for it. So post your testimonials, be proud about it. Not too boastful. Make sure you keep a little bit of humility there, but acknowledge when you've done something right. That will help to reinforce a feeling of appropriate confidence for you. And try to remember, everyone, like, success isn't measured by like your trade's outcome. Like, how much did you make versus how much did I make? It's about how you followed your trade plan. Did you stick to the rules? Did you follow your plan correctly? Did everything go according to how it was supposed to? Was it successful because you follow those rules? That is how the success of you trading is going to be measured. Not like monetary value, like, oh, I've made more money than someone else, but I didn't stick to my rules or I broke them. That would mean like you made money, but you potentially got a little bit lucky there. Sticking to your plan and the way that you're supposed to be trading it, and if you have that consistency with it, and then seeing it be profitable, that is where you're going to have that successfulness in trading. And that's where you want to be putting your focus on. So lastly, here we have the resources page. Just an FYI, we are not affiliated with any of these people. These are just people we truly do like, and we wanted to give you guys options as far as furthering your psychological knowledge. So it's just a general overview and introduction to these feelings. Some of these people will go into much more detail about them, giving very good examples. And I do highly suggest that you do watch them or listen to them, even if all you can do is like podcast style listening in the background. It does definitely help to reinforce a positive mindset and help you work through a lot of the issues that you will struggle with. So for sure, do recommend a lot of these people. And then also, if you're a book reader, we do have book recommendations down here as well. The resource page will be available for you, so you can actually click on the links and get to all of these people if you would like to check them out. And lastly, my suggestion as far as a resource would go is using the community. There is a great community that you can go to, and it is filled with traders, like-minded traders who are sympathetic to understanding this struggle. And maybe somebody who has dealt with this can offer you something that would be beneficial, like suggestions or tips for getting over whatever feeling it is that you're kind of stuck with. Maybe they were there a couple months ago and this is how they got through it. Please use the community to your guys' advantage. That's what we're here for, and that's why we have built this, in order to be able to help everybody through this journey. So please feel free to reach out in the community to people if you need help with any of these particular emotions. Okay, so that concludes the psychology course. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, if you have any questions or need help with anything, please feel free to reach out to us in the Discord community, and we'll be happy to help you guys.
All right, everybody, welcome yet again to another amazing video by me. In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of demo trading and then live trading. A lot of people skip over this step when starting their day trading journey, and it is the most detrimental thing they can possibly do because day trading is all about risk management, not risk avoidance. Trading is risky, period. It is always risking something in order to get something else in return. Demo trading allows you to practice trading with zero risk. Literally, you're playing with imaginary money, gaining practical knowledge, and building a skill set. So if you can simulate being a profitable trader on demo, the likelihood of success is far greater than without. And one caveat, just because I always have them with every single one of my videos, never, ever, ever, ever trade live accounts without first being in profit on a demo account. It is the quickest and fastest way for you to get discouraged and lose your money. Now, demo trading. Why is it necessary? Because you will take all of the information that you learned from the hundreds of hours that you spent educating yourself and put it into practice. While demo trading, you will journal each and every trade to track your progress and learn where you are making mistakes so that you can stop making those mistakes. It will highlight all of your errors in your trading, and you can look at them individually and see where the recurring mistakes are happening. Things that get measured get managed. You will also learn to be more consistent and make every single trade the same risk to reward ratio. This is the most crucial step in order to be a profitable, successful trader. It's all about risk management, people. I'll say it until I'm dead. And one of the best things about it is that you will learn how the asset that you are trading moves during the week and the month and become familiar with it, being able to see the recurring patterns that happen on it. So as you're demo trading, I suggest you stick with one asset, whether it's GBP USD, Euro USD, and only stick to that and demo that one thing over and over and over again, because you will see the patterns happening over and over again and get to know that currency pair as your best friend. Demo trading will also give you a level of confidence and certainty in real trading because you have done the reps, you have done the trading, and you have become consistent and not gambling. I know a lot of you guys want quick money fast, and that's why you're here, but that's not what we're here to teach. The recommended time frame to demo and be profitable is 3 months with consistent profit. So if you've demoed for 3 months and you're not getting consistent profit, keep doing it until you can prove to yourself that you've got 3 months consistent profit. 3 months of demoing with 1% profit and thinking you're good enough to start real trading, you're wrong. You're going to lose your money. I guarantee it. Now, when it comes to live trading, this is extremely important. It is in bold capital letters here for you guys. Start with $20 because when you trade real money for the first time, you will realize that emotions like fear play a massive role in day trading. You must learn to control your emotions and trade like a robot. The first time I put in real money and I saw those red numbers going negative, I started to panic. My heart was racing. My blood pressure was through the roof. My cheeks were red. My hands were sweaty. You need to learn what this feels like, and you need to learn how to control it. The best way to control it is to be a demo trader for a long period of time so that you know what this is like. So, why is this necessary? Again, it's getting you used to how it feels to lose real money because inherently you will, unless you're just some Einstein freak of nature that never lost a trade, but I've yet to find one of those people. It gets you used to trading actual money instead of imaginary money, which tends to make people a little bit more reckless because it's not real. So you can have a bunch of losses and it doesn't affect you, whereas a bunch of losses with real money affects you. You will also be realizing how difficult it is to trade a small account, earning a very small amount of money for a massive amount of work. If you only have a $20 account and you're doing proper risk management where you're risking 1% per trade and your take profit levels are 2%, that means that you're only going to make 40 cents for a winning trade. All of that hard work and effort on one winning trade just gets you 40 cents, which is why people have the tendency to over leverage, overtrade, not trade with stop losses, and that's what makes 95% of traders lose their money. Inconsistency and impatience with a small amount of money to start with. Not only realizing how difficult it is to trade, but learning how to cope with the numerous losses in a row that you will have and the way that it affects your mentality. Trader mindset and mentality is 90% of the day trading process. That's why you need to trade on a demo account. That's why you need to trade live money, but only a little bit, just so that you can experience how it feels. You're turning yourself from an emotional mess to an absolute machine with a methodical method that will get you results because you've proven it to yourself for 3 to 6 months. Now, tools that you can use to do all of this. Sign up for a demo account with your preferred broker. We have a bunch of preferred brokers that we have listed in the Discord group, so you can use one of ours or you can pick one that works for you. Next, you can use the trading journal we provide for you with your membership to track every single one of your trades and learn from your mistakes. Next, using the risk calculator we provide for you with your membership to help you enter trades faster without the hassle of doing it manually on a piece of paper or finding a calculator on a random website. This automatically enters your positions with proper risk management, and you can adjust your stop loss according to what the price is showing on the actual MT4 chart. Once you feel comfortable on your demo account, we suggest opening up an FTMO free trial to see how it feels to trade with the rules and requirements set forth by FTMO. The added pressure is also something you're going to need to learn to cope with because there are certain profit targets that you must hit within the given trading month. For example, 10 trading days in a given month, as well as a 10% profit. The free trial numbers are different. It's actually half of that, but you get the picture. Once you have passed an FTMO free trial, do it 3 more times. You want consistency here. Consistency is key. Or if you don't want to go on the funded account path, make sure that you have shown 3 months of consistent profits on your normal demo account. Then and only then should you trade real money on a live account. And you guys must understand that this is not easy and requires dedication and mental fortitude, and is a massive time investment. You're looking at the next 3 to 6 months of your life just practicing. I know that most of you guys see YouTube videos about dudes making $5,000 in a single day, but what they're doing in those videos is 100% gambling. It could have easily gone the opposite direction for them, and I know it's tempting to do, but we're here to teach you how to trade the right way, how to be consistent, and how to make an actual living doing this. So now that you have all this information and you've made a commitment to yourself, I suggest that you guys go and click the link next to this video that is going to give you an Excel spreadsheet that we have built for you guys, and it is the trading floor roadmap. It takes you step by step through the entire trading process from start to finish, everything that you guys need to watch and learn in a specific order. And if you start this thing and go from start to finish fully and document everything, you guys will be in a much better position and ready to trade real money and make real money full time. Again, if you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to ask me in the Discord group or anyone from the team. We're more than happy to help you guys in your day trading journey. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.